The clown doll attack is one of Poltergeist's most talked about and well-remembered scenes. It scared the hell out of a lot of viewers by tapping straight into standard childhood bedtime fears. But it's not just a case of, oh, it's a clown, therefore it's scary. There's a lot more to it than that. Some things are easier to spot, like the design of its face changing from a smiley laugh to an evil grimace when it finally becomes possessed and attacks Robbie, or one of its arms suddenly being several feet longer so that it can coil round his neck. But other details are more sneaky and subliminal, such as the clown moving its hands between different camera shots. In the clown's very first shot of the movie, its left hand is raised with the palm turned upward in a grabbing gesture, but when Mother enters the room, its hand is shifted back down by its side. Continuity error, right? I mean, after all, there are other continuity mismatches like a Rubik's Cube suddenly appearing on the shelf above Robbie, yet it wasn't there in other shots. And a blue robot prop that is placed in a corner here, and then it moves right next to Robbie when he's going to sleep. Though that one could be deliberate, as will become apparent in this video. But with the clown, I think the hand movement between shots is intended because it happens again in the clown's final scene just before it attacks Robbie. Again, its left hand is hanging down by its side when Mother is present in the room, but when she's gone, look at the new position of the hands. Creepy stuff, eh? And I'm not sure about this one, but it looks like the fingers are suddenly longer than they were before. Okay, so I'm going to go through each clown scene moment in sequence. Our very first view of the clown is this shot, which immediately follows the scene of the family burying Carol Ann's dead bird. We don't get to find out how the bird died. Maybe it was scared to death by the clown moving about when no one else was in the room. So the bird is buried in the backyard while Robbie is climbing the dead tree that will later attack him. His climbing of the tree with its embedded faces or souls is like a disrespect for the dead. And from here he asks,
Mom, when it rots, can we dig it up and see the bones?
Undoubtedly this relates to the film's larger plot framing of a cemetery being moved but the coffins being left in the same place and houses then placed on top of them. The digging of a swimming pool in the backyard seems to disturb these corpses and is paralleled by the dead bird's cigar box being dug up too. So it's after this disrespecting the dead scene that the clown makes its first appearance and shows signs of wanting to torment the kids who, like those two goldfish, are sitting ducks. Easy pickings. Maybe Carol Ann's words here hint at the temptation for the evil presence.
Come and get it. Come and get it.
The faint thunder and the lightning hint at the presence of supernatural forces and perhaps at the anger of those ghosts. But turn up the volume and there's another more subliminal sound here. Bells. The clown has bells on its limbs, collar and hat, and yet the clown isn't moving, so how can it be making the bell sounds? Shot scrolls over and when the lightning flashes a shadow of the haunted tree into the room, we hear the bells again. Cut to an outside view and the bells are louder. We can't see any bells on the tree, so we're left to assume that there must be some hanging on the tree somewhere. But really, how could they be audible through the panes of glass during a storm? So we have a weird parallel here between the clown doll and the tree. Both of these soon-to-be possessed opponents are introduced in the same scene, and they will be alternately possessed by the same evil force in two separate attacks on the family. Here, the clown and tree are in shot at the same time, and again here. Like the clown, the tree moves positions between shots, which was easy to do being that this was a studio set, not an actual location. The tree is placed in a position viewable through the window when the bird is found dead, and is later viewable from Robbie's position when he's trying to go to sleep, even though it's a totally different angle through the window. There's also a question of why the clown is placed in a chair out in the open facing Robbie's bed. I think even most adults would have a bit of trouble sleeping with that thing sat facing them in the dark. Did one of the kids place it there, or did it take up that position in the room when no one was looking? And if Robbie is scared of the tree, then just close the curtains. But hey, it's a movie and the plot needs to march forward. The chair is actually a rocking chair, an implication that the clown will start moving at some point, and the presence of Darth Vader and alien posters add an evil force implication to the tree and the clown, which is easy to consciously dismiss as nothing more than product placement. And there is plenty of that in this set, of course, But how many kids under the age of 10 had a poster of Alien in their bedrooms? A movie that features two long-fingered predators that lurk in the dark and attack human prey, the facehugger and the alien itself. Ring any bells? Those finger-grabbing elements of Alien parallel Robbie being attacked and grabbed by the tree and the clown in Poltergeist. Once the parents are in bed and the kids are trying to sleep, flashing shadows of the tree again and shots of the goldfish looking scared of the lightning, like the kids are. Robbie looks at the clown, illuminated by flashes of lightning, and there's a jolt in the music, and hey, its sneaky left hand has raised up again like it's waving to him. And something quite funny here is that the clown's smile is mirrored by Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street in the background. Bert is waving, and Ernie has his own clown smile. The double-faced mockery of the clown and Ernie is especially present in this shot. Darth Vader is just about in shot again here behind the clown, and another Darth Vader prop looms over Robbie from behind the bed. And that blue robot toy has moved positions again. In a later scene, a smaller possessed toy robot will mock Robbie after Caroline is abducted by ghosts. And both the robot and the clown laugh as they torment him. So yeah, I'm starting to suspect that this blue robot prop moving about is a subliminal trick. In fact, when the psychic investigators show up, the clown and the blue robot are among the few toys left in the room. The blue robot isn't moving, but it has what I think is a spinning plastic flower sticking out of its face. Weird detail. So yeah, possessed blue robot subliminals here. A few more things about the clown figure design. I'm not aware of this clown being an actual commercial item when the movie came out. I mean, how many parents would want to buy this clown after seeing this film? It would be commercial suicide if it was actually a branded product. It's almost certainly been created for the movie, and what a fabulous prop item it is. There's the creepy long fingers, which look too much like human hands for comfort. The red and white stripes on the limbs are visually striking. The red, white and blue colours of the US flag could be part of the film's political theme about suburban middle-class America, but I kinda have my doubts on that one. Weird though that the first shot of the clown pans across to Robbie reading an issue of Captain America. Now there's a character with magical powers whose red, white and blue colours do relate to the US flag. The clown's hat is blue with silver moon and star shapes on it, suggesting him to be a magician or that he otherwise has some sort of mental connection to the heavens. The fiery orange hair suggests an angry element maybe. And that big silver collar, which I think has 8 leg-like protrusions, I can see 6 here and it looks like there's room for 2 at the back. That whole collar is very spider-like. Striped limbs are a feature of some spiders too, and the clown pulling Robbie under the bed later on is like a spider pulling a captured fly into its hiding place. And this is well before Stephen King made a spider-clown monster the centrepiece of his novel It, which is a great book by the way. But spiders aren't the only predator-animal implication with this clown. The suddenly elongated stripy arm is very reminiscent of a snake coiling around its prey. And just to set us up for that metaphor, listen to the rattlesnake sound effect here. Robbie now sneaks up to throw a coat over the clown's face. As he does so, he closes his eyes, which prevents him from seeing that a supernatural wind blows the clown's hair. The thunder and lightning here are like a subliminal implication that the clown is laughing at Robbie. And then the growling Chewbacca face has replaced the clown face. Product placement? Probably. A suggestion of the evil force that's going to possess the clown in a later scene? Yeah, I'd say so. Last thing about this particular scene, Jerry Goldsmith's music is clever. It's sinister, but it also has a comedic vibe to it. I think what this does is it misleads the audience into thinking that this is just an amusing depiction of silly childhood fears, but actually it's a sophisticated subliminal setup for the scary clown attack near the end of the movie. Moving on, when Dad comes and gives Robbie some reassurance, there are no shots of the clown. We don't even know if it's in the same place or if it's moved to some other part of the room. The next bedroom scene is when the tree attacks. This time the clown isn't shown until Robbie is attacked by the tree, and it turns out that the clown is sat right next to Caroline. Did Caroline place it there when she went to bed, or had it snuck over there by itself in preparation for the intended abduction of Caroline into another dimension? I suspect it snuck over there because Caroline doesn't have the clown next to her in the other two scenes where the kids are going to sleep. The clown appears in shot a few times like it's laughing at its master plan, which is basically to distract the family away from Caroline. The clown gets sucked into the cupboard first and then takes Caroline with it, and the script says that the clown has an initial resistance to the vacuum of the cupboard and that it just sits and watches Caroline with a smile. Now the family fumble through the cupboard only to find the clown, which mocks the loss of their daughter by pretending to be her dead corpse under a blanket. And the blue robot is here again, initially sitting on top of that same blanket which the clown is under. We get the laughing robot too, and then the clown disappears for a few scenes until the parapsychology investigators make their first visit and look into the room. The clown is spinning on the bed, clearly sitting up straight on its own by supernatural force, and a distant laughing can be heard, probably the clown possessing spirit mocking the family's grief. From here the clown disappears for most of the movie. When the psychic and the parents go back into the closet to retrieve their daughter, the clown is completely missing from the room. Where did it go throughout all of this scene? I assume it's off in the other dimension. And once the family are all back together and spending one last night in the house before they move out, the clown becomes the first point of ghostly attack. Most of the kids' belongings have been packed, but for some reason Clown Doll hasn't, and is suspiciously placed facing Robbie's bed again. When did the clown return from the other dimension after its absence? Did it wait to ensure that it wouldn't be packed and put in the van? As I said at the start of this video, its hands move between shots, taking on a menacing grapple gesture after Mother leaves the room. But there's a couple of other slightly interesting things here. Robbie is trying to pull apart Caroline's doll, which is what he'll do to the clown when he fights back after being dragged under the bed. And that bedside lamp near Caroline, when it's switched off, it's clearly a heart being held by two white hands. The clown itself has white hands, and the lamp has a sort of frilly design similar to the sleeves of the clown hands. Now I really don't know if that's what was meant by this lamp prop, like some sort of subliminal about the clown wanting to grab and smother one of the kids' souls or something like that. But it is a very weird prop, you got to admit that. That hand-grabbing thing is present in both of the attacks on Robbie, the hands of the tree and the hands of the clown. And there are a few other heart-shaped props in the house, including this one right by Mother's bed, and a helium balloon heart prop hanging high up in the room, so this light-up heart here might just be about the family emotional bonds. The psychic character Tangina made a kind of double-meaning statement that ties in with these props.
Why is this door locked, Mr. Freeling?
We believe it's the heart of the house.
This house has many hearts.
Right, I went off track a little bit there, but anyway, now we're getting to the final clown scene, the scary attack. The Darth Vader poster is gone, but the other Darth Vader prop still hovers over Robbie like the clown did to Caroline just before she was taken. The tree attack occurred during a storm, but now there's a deceptive silence. Robbie sees the clown and tries to throw a coat over it, causing one of its hands to flop down and causing the bells on its hat, foot and hand to start ringing. Like the possessing spirit is laughing at him, and as if the hat is waving, "Hello, little terrified child." And this camera angle has the hat arched over Robbie's head in a smothering gesture, probably a foreshadow of the next smothering. As Robbie is trying to go to sleep, we hear the clown move about, but the bells on its limbs make no noise at all. And yet it seems that the clown wanted to be heard shuffling about, because when Robbie looks about and can't see it anywhere, the clown is able to suddenly appear right over him on the bed without making either bell ringing noises or shuffling sounds. I like the deceptive absence of sound there to make the jump scare more of a surprise. But where was the clown hiding before it jumped on the bed? Robbie looked on both sides of the bed and under, but saw nothing. Maybe it was on the floor at the foot of the bed. Diane nearly tripped over some skates there in the first bedroom scene. Though this low angle of the attack scene shows that it's not there. Maybe the clown can literally vanish and then rematerialise. Or maybe it was hiding in the big cardboard box that's suspiciously sitting open next to the bed. The box appears to have moved after Robbie is grabbed. So that would kind of create a sort of jack-in-the-box metaphor. Now again, I appreciate that some of these things about the clown could have been continuity mistakes, but one that definitely isn't a mistake is that the clown's face changes to an evil grimace when it grabs him. The extra elongated arm isn't an accident either, and the rattlesnake metaphor is present again in the sound along with the menacing laugh of the clown. And after a little bit of a fight, Robbie tears the stuffing out of the clown, learning to fight back, his little character arc in the movie. So, a great collection of scenes full of intricate, sneaky details to play on the subconscious. As I outlined in my video The Hidden Depths of Poltergeist, this film is far more intricate than it appears. My only gripe is that I think these scenes would have been even scarier if the room wasn't so evenly lit. A bit more darkness here and there would have added to the menace, but then maybe the clown face details wouldn't be as effectively visible. If you want more film analysis, then subscribe if you're new to my work, and check out my backlog of in-depth videos and articles which can be ordered and downloaded on my website collativelearning.com. Link is in the video description below. You've been listening to Rob Ager. Until next time, take it easy.